So a few months ago, my friends at Shergold Guitars reached out to me and asked me to be part of the launch of a brand new guitar that they were releasing. Now, the guys at Shergold have been real great friends of mine since I started my channel about 3 years ago. They've been huge supporters of what I've done, and they've always looked out for me. So when they reached out and asked me to be part of this, number one, it was great just to be able to do something else with them because I love working with those guys. But number two, it was an absolute honor for me because I've never actually been the face of a product launch before. So part of my responsibility was to write and record a track, which then became the launch video. The guitar in question is the brand new Shergold Telstar. Now, if you haven't already seen their launch videos, which came up via their official channels this week, there are some links down below in the description where you can check those out. In this box today is my very first Telstar. Now, as far as I'm aware, I may be wrong on this, but this guitar is not actually officially out in stores yet, but it's currently being shipped to dealers. So it will be available via all the Shergold retailers very, very soon. But as far as I'm aware, and again, I may be wrong on this one in the box is actually the first one that's left the factory destined for a single individual rather than a dealer. So we're going to crack the box open in this video and see what it's like out of the box. Now, full disclaimer, this guitar, I have played a Telstar before because if you've seen the launch day videos, you've seen me play two different Telstars, one in each color. But I haven't played this Telstar. So the two that I used in the launch videos were actually the kind of final prototypes before the actual real batch of them arrived. So the ones in those videos were the final kind of proofs that they, those guys signed off on and said, yep, everything's good. Let's get these over to production right now. So I've got my very first one, assuming I'm going to end up getting another one at some point. I have my own Telstar in this box. So we're going to crack it open and get some first impressions. So as I said, I have played the Telstar before, so I kind of know what to expect. And again, full disclaimer, the guys at Shergold have given me this guitar. This is kind of my reimbursement for doing the video for them. That was the deal we agreed on. They asked me to be in the video and asked me what I wanted, and I said, I want one of those guitars. So let's get it open and see what's inside. Nice to see that it's really, really well packed. So this guitar is the gold Telstar, because that's specifically the color that I asked them for. Now, if you've already played any Shergold stuff or you're aware of who they are as a brand, you'll know the kind of price range that they've always sat in as being closer to £1,000. The Provocateur and the Masquerader models, which I both own, are kind of priced at like $750 to $850 in the UK. This is actually a much lower price guitar. So for this range, Shergold have actually managed to hit a price range below £400 without actually compromising on anything that they've kind of done before. The biggest thing that they've done is they've moved away from using branded pickups. So the original ones had Seymour Duncans. This has some that they've kind of worked on the design for, and they've used things like less exotic woods, but they've not actually compromised anything. So it's still all designed by Patrick James Eggle and his team in the UK, and everything is still sent back to the UK for its final QC step as well. So there it is. So I've been really, really excited to get this thing since, to be honest, since I first saw the artist mock-ups of this guitar, probably before Christmas last year. And now, to actually have it in my hand, look at that. So, yeah, this is the gold Telstar, as you can see there. This guitar shape is quite interesting because it's kind of like a Telecaster, slightly offset, but it's got this raised bit here in the middle like a Firebird, but you'll notice it's loaded with two Filtertron style pickups like a Gretsch. So yeah, when I first saw these, I just instantly knew that that was a guitar that I was going to love. I knew that I had to get my hands on one of these from the minute I saw one, and the gold one was instantly the one that stood out to me. I actually think the blue one looks great as well, but there's something about the gold that just really caught my attention. And I think partly because for a while I went down this rabbit hole of looking at gold Firebirds, and I was quite obsessed with the idea of getting a gold Firebird. And I think Shergold have kind of cured my problem there with this guitar. So I'm not really going to dig too much into the specs in this video. There's going to be a full video all about that. If you want to check out the specs right now, you can go down in the description and click the link for the full release video where all the specs are listed on the screen. So I'm just going to tune this up now and we'll just hear some tones. So it was actually pretty much in tune. I didn't even really need to do much tweaking with the tuning. I gave each string, 2 quick stretches and it settled really quick. So today we're going to be hearing this guitar to the Blackstar Studio 10 6L6, which is going via the 2-note Torpedo Captor X as usual, and the drive in the video is going to be the Kernam Ridge Overdrive. Now this guitar is really, really simple, and I love that Shergold kept it simple for this. There's no fancy stuff here. We've just got the twin Filtertron style pickups, a single volume, a single tone, and a 3-way switch. I should also mention it is a bolt-on neck with a recessed heel, which is very, very comfortable. And we've just got a nice, typical maple neck. Nothing really too crazy here spec-wise. It's just a real solid working guitar. I really, really love the way this looks. And actually, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think they did a really great choice with the 2 colors here, gold and blue. I think are just fantastic colors. It would be interesting to see if they expand this range into more colors, but for now, I think the 2 colors they have chosen are great. So we're going to start with some clean tones. I'm just going to play a bit on each pickup and show you what it sounds like. So straight out of the box, we have a really nice balanced tone. Now, Filtertron pickups are a pickup type that I personally think are quite underrated. You don't often hear too many people talk about Filtertrons as much as they talk about other pickup types. Now, tonally, they sit somewhere between a humbucker and a P90. Now, they technically are humbuckers because they have 2 coils in them, but they tonally sit more in the P90 ballpark because they have a little bit more sharpness in the top end. So these Filtertrons, I think, sound fantastic with some clean tones. You get all that nice chiminess, but you get this real nice warm low end from there as well. So now I've got the Kernam Ridge Overdrive switched on and we're going to hear some Overdriven Tones. there you go. There is how the brand new Shergold Telstar sounds straight out of the box. This is an unbelievable amount of bang for the buck. I mean, if you didn't tell me that this was under £400, I would instantly insert this into the same price point as the other Shergolds that I own, because they haven't actually compromised on anything feel or playability wise. Tonally, it sounds exactly as you'd expect. It's a pair of Filtertron pickups with a three-way switch. It gives you all of those tones. The only way they could probably make this even more versatile would be to add a coil split to this, but it's not really necessary because those Filtertron pickups give you enough of that clean sparkle. I suppose if you wanted more sparkle, probably wouldn't be the hardest modification to do yourself. But yeah, straight out of the box, pretty much has everything you'd need in a twin Filtertron loaded T-style guitar. I'm a big fan of this. I have been very, very excited to get one of these, as I said earlier on in the video, since I first saw the mock-ups of these at the tail end of last year. So to have one in my hands is amazing, and I'm so thrilled that I've got one, and incredibly thankful to the guys at Shergold for having me be part of the launch of this guitar. As I said, if you haven't already checked out those launch videos, you can go down to the description and check those out. There's going to be a full-length demo on this thing coming very, very soon on the channel, so please keep a watch out for that as well. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the first impressions of the Shergold Telstar. What do you think of this kind of mix-up and mash-up of a Telly, a Firebird, and a Gretsch? I love it personally, but what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon.